Welcome back to Autism at Home, brought to you by us at Early Autism Project Malaysia through our non-profit The Hope Project. I'm Joshebet Isaacs and welcome to Unit 28, which is all about food challenges when it comes to children with autism. Now in this lesson, we'll be discussing the ways we can help support children with autism in eating independently. Now there are a number of areas that come to mind when we think about eating independently. Firstly, is it to be able to sit down at the dining table for the full length of their meal time, preferably without screen time? To be able to feed themselves with cutlery? And of course, to chew and swallow their food on their own. And perhaps even putting away their dishes in the sink. And in the future, it could be to even help with setting the table, some simple meal prep, and the list goes on. Now, for the purpose of this lesson, we are going to discuss specifically about children being able to sit at the dining table to eat and feed themselves. Now, sitting at the dining table to eat, you can also refer to Unit 20 of our series on community outings, Lesson 2 on eating out. We spoke a bit about this in our second lesson on starting right with healthy eating routines. And essentially, it would be to pair positive reinforcement with the skill of sitting down and eating at the dining table. Now, some strategies to make this successful include a child should have the prerequisite skills of being able to sit at the table and cooperate, and also understand the concept of first then, meaning that the child understands that they first need to do eat at the table, then reward. You can refer to Unit 4 of Autism at Home on teaching cooperation. Next is to pre-cut their food into bite-sized pieces, which will help with scooping and chewing their food and overall making it easier. Preparing some appropriate mealtime activities that your child can enjoy, such as simple books, busy books, simple puzzles, and others. The goal for these would be to occupy them as they chew and to hopefully let them stay in their seat as they finish their meal. Additionally, having a reinforcement system like first then with a screen time. Now, with all our strategies, we will use the 3 key ABA strategies, and that is to firstly break skills down, pair with reinforcement, and provide sufficient practice. And so if your child has never sat at the table to eat before, we would expect perhaps just 1 bite and then they get the reward, and then gradually build to 2 bites and then the reward. We would also strongly encourage to have frequent practices, so at least the 3 meal times, as well as if they're having snack times in between. And one more quick tip is for your child to understand finishing their food right from the start. That would be just to have 1 food bite on the plate, and then you can say, "Good eating, all done. You can go play," or you can have screen time. This will help as you increase the bites, and eventually your child has the ability to eat a full plate of food at their table. Next would be to learn to feed themselves. Again, it would be great to start right, and usually as babies learn to eat solids, we would want to try to encourage them to use their fingers to pick small food items and feed themselves. This will promote a sense of independence from a young age. If your child is used to being fed, you could still start this step with any finger food, such as crackers or small pieces of fruits or snacks. Then when it comes to cutlery, you could break it down and make it easier by placing the food on the spoon or fork and then prompting your child to feed themselves. This way, they don't need to also try the harder part of scooping or poking their food. That can be the next step that you can provide a physical prompt for them to do. What's the 3rd key ABA strategy? Well, after a scoop, their plate is visually empty, they may come for more food. So you can add another scoop into the plate and repeat the practice. At the 1 scoop stage, your child may end up getting about 15 rounds of practice. This is providing sufficient practice. And if they're able to complete 1 scoop target across perhaps 3 meal times, you may increase the portion to 2 scoops. Follow the same gradual progression until eventually your child is completing their meal time entirely before getting access to the better rewards. And a bonus tip would be teaching to set the table or put their dishes in the sink. The easiest way to do this is actually with visuals and then guiding your child to do so. And we would recommend starting at the easiest step, which would be the very last one, taking their plate to the sink. Please use plastic so it's okay and safe if your child just throws it in initially. You could then use social stories and a visual schedule to guide your child to set the table. But of course, it's really important to gauge if this is even a key priority at this stage. Finally, would be learning to generalize this skill to other places, like when you go out in the community or eating in someone else's home. Do refer to our lesson on eating out from our Unit 20 Community Outing series for this. Now it's your turn. Note down your child's current eating routine and identify what is the key area of challenge you are facing. From today's lesson, decide your main priority and where do you want to start. Then prepare the necessary materials, i.e. the reinforcement, the visuals, of course the food, and get started. Well, we've come to the end of our series on food challenges with children with autism, with lessons on the introduction, modeling a healthy eating routine, increasing food choices in the natural environment, breaking it down in a much more structured way, increasing nutrition, and finally eating independently. We hope these lessons have provided you with sufficient knowledge for you to begin teaching your child these skills. However, we do have a bonus lesson which is going to be a Q&A with our International BCBA. So do stay tuned for the next lesson. Do comment below if you've been able to follow along and it's been successful. Please do share with us your experience and also your feedback. We would just love to hear from you. Also drop in the comments if you have any other areas you would like to learn. Till the next series, do take care and we will see you very soon. Also, we thank you for your support, and with the amount of interest we have received online, we have actually started providing online services and have worked over the years with clients in other states of Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia, Philippines, China, Kuwait, New Zealand, and Switzerland. So do scan the QR code below and get in touch with us for more information. If you haven't already, do check out our free online resource platform, Autism at Home, which has all the corresponding articles and downloadables for you. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Instagram and Facebook to stay updated. Take care and we will see you soon.